one hostile rainforest and the world's greatest river. Add 8 young adventurers. Then roast in tropical heat for 3 weeks. It's a recipe for tension, trauma and personal triumph. Each night the adventurers record a video diary, providing a unique insight into their true feelings about the extreme expedition. The 8 young adventurers had completed their week of jungle training in the Amazon and were about to set out on their first environmental mission. It meant a very early start to the day.
Morning, guys. 2:15. Let's go.
Come on, guys.
We had a really hugely, amazingly, really early start today.
Morning.
So well done.
Sorry, get up. John started.
It was building up all night.
We got up at 2:15 in the morning. That's right. Got out of bed about 20 past. Then we just waited for the boats, grabbed like 2 Chucky bars, and that was our breakfast. Got on the boats, and it was absolutely freezing. We were all in there in our wet kit. Okay, wet kit, just a shirt and trousers in the freezing cold, and it was really horrible.
And I had to lie down in the middle of the boat on everyone's rucksacks, and not very comfortable.
We watched the dawn break and it was just really cool. The trees were incredible. It was just such a lovely experience.
The team were heading up a remote Amazon tributary to begin a marathon 3-day journey by dugout canoe. Their mission was to find and remove illegal fishing nets that catch rare pink river dolphins.
Because it hasn't rained properly for a while, the river's quite low, so there were loads and loads of obstacles and stuff to get around.
The team had to abandon the boat and continue the journey to their canoes on foot. They'd be trekking through uncharted jungle in searing tropical heat, carrying all the expedition kit with them in their rucksacks.
Way too much.
We went and walked a mile today in the jungle. Didn't sound like much, but when you consider it took us 4.5 hours, because you can't, in the jungle you can't go like that. You have to go, uh-oh, a lake. Whoops.
I found the walk today quite challenging, as in I couldn't cope with the heat and the sweat. I found that really difficult. It was hot and I was sweating, and it's just so uncomfortable to have to walk. It got exciting though, because we came into contact with peccary. They were nearby.
Peccaries are wild pigs which are extremely dangerous.
You've got to tell everybody else instead of not even be silent.
I know of all the things here, all the poisonous snakes and tarantulas and the caiman, I'm most scared of these pigs.
And peccary are like these pig animals. They're like vicious pigs. They can kill you. They're really kind of massive groups. Scary things they are.
If we do run into them, the next thing they're going to do is you hear their gnashers clacking. All right? That's when they're really worked up, and that's the immediate action on that is literally to stand still, dead silence. All right? Absolute dead silence. Harry will then say, backtrack, yeah, or alternatively, it is get to the trees and get up.
That was really exciting that the peccary were nearby. It made it all so much more real. All our training sort of was being put into use, which is really cool.
They continued their journey, but the situation got much worse. Harry, the team's local guide, realised there were many more peccaries than first thought.
Harry and Ben reckoned that there was a herd of about 500 as little as 300 metres away from us at one point, so dead quiet as we possibly could be.
It was so scary, I tell you. It really was scary. I was terrified, and at the same because we were so close to them. We got to about 300 metres from them. And then we realised Harry said there's about 500 of them. 500.
I smelt them a little bit, and I heard their jaws clacking a little bit, and I heard them breathing. It was so amazing, and that really brought home how close wildlife was, and that could have been a real danger. That we could have been all in life-threatening situations.
It was terrifying, and the adrenaline rush was fantastic. I'd never had such an adrenaline rush.
Jamie, we're just waiting for the rest of the group. Don't talk.
I was terrified, but I was enjoying it so much. I really wanted them to come. I really wanted to see them.
But eventually the danger passed and the group could continue through the jungle. Finally, at 4 p.m, the team arrived at the smaller river where their canoes were.
Keep coming, guys.
Oh, no!
Fantastic. That's the best sight in the world.
I've got such a big sense of achievement, and I'm really, really chuffed with myself, to be honest with you. I can't believe I've done it, and I'm so glad I have.
So 3.5 hours nearly full hiking. Now that I've done it, over the moon, I'm enjoying everything. And even a few of the people have said, yeah, that I've just cheered up completely. And I'm made up. I'm starting enjoying myself now.
The team would be on the move for the next 3 days, making camps in the jungle. That also meant building a new fire each night to get hot food. On the first night, Beth felt she'd done more than her fair share of the work.
I have to do all the fire and keep the fire light, and then I cook pretty much all the food, and it's hard when you just don't get gratitude, really, when people don't thank you for it. I put a lot of effort into that, running around, and nobody really said thank you. I don't do it for that, but, you know, it's nice for people to show their appreciation now and again, I suppose.
Now the team were in even more remote jungle. They found one little pest was becoming a serious problem.
This place is swarming with mozzies.
What was it? Mosquito bites!
I hear the mozzies are so bad. And we're just being eaten alive. You've probably seen them swarming around my head. It's horrible.
And they pain and they itch, and I've made myself bleed from them. And it's so not worth it. Stupid little insects, that's all they are. And they can give you malaria as well. There's no use for them on this earth.
But there were other dangers too. Matt had encountered the deadly pupa of a butterfly.
If you touch it or your skin comes into contact with it, you come up in a really, really bad rash, and it swells up your whole hand or arm. And potentially has been known to kill people, actually.
It was all making Simran increasingly nervous of the jungle at night.
I feel really, really paranoid of all this stuff. I can't see like a hand's width apart in front of me. So how am I supposed to see anything else? And I get really paranoid because the animals are out here, and I know they're out here. I'm just really scared of them. And I can't even walk to my own bed by myself, even with a big, huge torch on, because I get really scared.
The next morning saw the start at last of the main mission. The team had to paddle for 2 days in heavy dugout canoes to search for illegal fishing nets.
It's going to be quite an experience. I think we're doing something that's really important. So I think I'll feel really good about myself and all the others.
Today we canoed 9.5 miles. And it took us 8 hours.
I am physically and mentally shattered today. Yesterday was hard, going through the jungle. We wanted to go today 9 miles in a canoe.
I'm not stopping.
Why you stop paddling?
I have not stopped.
God, you can't stop.
I'm being attacked by flies.
It's more effective if you paddle forward.
Oh, shush, Jamie. I can't bother to listen to this one.
There's been loads of funny arguments. I love listening to people argue when it's over something stupid like about how deep you put your paddle. That is hilarious.
If you don't paddle hard, all three of us have to paddle hard. Look, you're just stroking the water.
It doesn't matter how slow you are.
I'm paddling twice as hard to compensate for you now, and my arm is killing me. No, I don't know how we're doing it, but we are doing it, and we'd appreciate it if you did it too.
Matt, bless him, can be a little frustrating when it comes to steering. wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do with him, and he did get frustrated, which got everybody else frustrated.
Well, look, I'm not going to exactly put myself into a coma just to get there on time. I'm working hard, right? But you're not working hard. Well, how can you even say that? Because you're not me, so you wouldn't even know. Pedal harder, Matt. Harder than that. Come on, harder.
Matt was annoying. He doesn't seem to understand that if he canoes slower than everyone else, the canoe starts going one way.
Sam constantly down my ear roll. He goes on to me saying my strokes aren't A, long enough, B, deep enough, C, strong enough, or D, fast enough.
Matt is paddling for the first time properly the whole trip.
Fine, I won't.
We argued so much today, and I thought it was absolutely pathetic, because we're not grown up, we're all kids, right? But we have to argue over petty and stupid things like, oh, which way are you rowing? Oh, do not row backwards, you will slow everybody down. Oh, do not row this way because I row this way.
John, if you're paddling at the right angle, then your paddle shouldn't be scraping against the side of the boat. So no moaning. Everybody rowing.
I actually really felt like my group today because it just really got me down, the group. I really didn't like Kelly and Jamie's attitude. It was really selfish and it really got on my nerves.
Yeah, but I'm...
John, you gotta stay in sync with Kelly.
Yeah, I know. Jamie, if I'm out of time, I will write it myself. I do have eyes. You don't have to just sit there waiting for a chance to snap at me and looking forward.
And all the time, if I was slightly out of rhythm, Jamie would try and act the star and say, Dawn, can you keep the time with Kelly? And that really got on my nerves.
Kelly, I will self-write that. You don't have to sit there and wait for time with me.
You know you're out of time.
I know, it's hard.
I knew I was going to get stressed because I always do when I go canoeing. I don't like the sport, but it got to be done.
The other boat was so fun, they were singing the whole way, really chirpy.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
And Matt hated their group, and I'm really praying that I'm going to be able to see if I can swap teams with Matt, because that would just work better for everyone. It really would. I really just don't want to stay in my group at all.
He's really whinging and he kept asking to change boats. He wanted to change boats for some reason.
Right guys, quit arguing, you're doing my head in.
Polly, would I be allowed to swap boats with one person?
Yeah, can I swap boats
No.
No, the point is that you're in your teams, yeah. It's an equal match of sort of physical size, strength, that sort of thing. You're just going to have to work it out amongst yourselves to make it work.
Jamie got particularly frustrated when a rivalry developed between the two canoes.
Let go, Biff!
Don't be childish.
You're being childish.
Biff, you're out of order! Are you not?
Goodbye.
Watch the train!
Jamie didn't find any of this at all amusing.
Guys, can you stop being so childish because we're struggling enough as is and you're pushing us off every time we come near you.
And I got called childish, which is very odd because funnily enough I am a child.
You can do it to us if you want, Jamie. It's just first come, first serve, mate.
This is not funny.
Yeah, we're here.
Finally, after 8 hours on the river, the team arrived at their camp for the night.
We got here on time, which is amazing, because we never get anywhere on time, and even Ben was surprised that we got here on time. But apart, we were all happy. Got to set our hammocks up in the light. Big yay. That's one of our really big fears, all of us, is setting our stuff up in the dark. None of us want to do that. So we managed to avoid that. I was very happy about that.
And I was quite annoyed that we did, I'm not annoyed, I was upset that we didn't find any fishermen. I reckon that would have been like really interesting to watch.
Now we're here, this isn't a bad camp. Got the fire going.
And tonight I put my hammock and my basher and my mosquito net up all on my own. It's quite good. So I'm quite proud of that. I hope it rains tonight. I think it'd be really cozy under a mosquito net in a sleeping bag. And a basher. I think it'd be really nice and cozy.
But the constant upheaval of moving from camp to camp was starting to take its toll on some of the adventurers.
I'm apprehensive about the whole sort of thing when we're, for the next few days where we're setting up a new camp every night, because the whole packing, unpacking every single day thing is really, really stressing me out already. Miss home. Miss the people at home. I'm just really tired and just feeling really grey, and I've got really, really bad heat rash. You probably can't see it, but literally I'm covered in it. I've got blisters all over my hands. I need tape here and here and here and here and here. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm missing my best friend so much, and it's just bringing me down. Yay!
Despite the general fatigue, it was time for the 8 young adventurers to be given more responsibility.
This is really where myself and Polly take a back seat, alright? And we throw everything over to you in its entirety.
The team would be responsible for running camp, including lighting fires and cooking meals. But the following morning, the adventurers failed to plan for the rainforest's most obvious hazard, a tropical downpour. As a result, breakfast was a disaster.
We woke up all expecting a fire, and Sam and Carly didn't bother getting the fire ready, so we had to have, the only breakfast we had was pineapple.
I was offered the juice of a pineapple tin, saying, oh, we didn't expect that we were catering for you, which I find quite insulting, actually, in the fact that we are all one group. 2 tins of pineapple between 13 people. Do you really think that's enough calories to sustain us for the next 5 hours?
No. Pretty poor breakfast, really. Filled none of us up. I haven't had my malaria tablets yet because I didn't want to get sick by eating them on an empty stomach, because all we had was a couple of 3 pineapple chunks each.
Everything was soaked. I was freezing and I was miserable. I was not happy at all. I had to put loads of wet gear on, and it was just generally yucky and muddy and wet. And then we had to canoe in the rain, and that was horrible.
It felt so horrible. When I was out there, I felt tired, miserable, snappy. I put my huge rain mac on, I was still cold. I felt quite miserable when I was canoeing.
It was really chucking it down most of today, which was not very nice canoeing. I actually got very cold, which I never thought would happen to me, considering I'm in a rainforest.
And for Beth, things are about to get even worse.
I've had a really bad heat rash the last few days, and it just came up really badly, and I was so uncomfortable.
I need something to get rid of it, otherwise I'm just going to scratch myself till I bleed. I can't row because every 3 seconds I have to scratch, which is why I keep stop rowing.
I was itching and itching, I just couldn't row, and it made me cry really. I just felt miserable at that point.
If you took your coat off, would that help?
Might do a bit. And it wasn't nice. But basically I had to keep going really, because there was not much I could do.
And it was well worth pushing on. Soon after, Georgia spotted exactly what they were looking for.
Fishing net! Where?
There's a bottle there.
The floating bottle was a telltale sign of a net.
I'm so amazingly pleased. We found 3 fishing nets. They're 3 huge fishing nets that went right across the river today. They were absolutely huge, and they were the meshing was so tight they didn't catch any fish. But we were really lucky, because they'd basically been put up this morning, and we got them literally like an hour or so after they'd been put up, because they barely had, each net had probably 1 fish on it. I'm sure if they left it for 5 days or so, it could have dozens, hundreds of fish potentially on them, and I'm just so glad we found them as early as we did.
I was so pleased when we found the fishing nets. That was really exciting for me. That is the first time we helped save the dolphins, and I was incredibly proud that we did that today.
Getting the fishing nets up today was absolutely brilliant. We got 3 up, and that is such an achievement. I felt so proud because obviously that's why we're here and that's what we came to do, and to be able to remove them was just great. It was a sense of achievement, definitely.
You're literally right on top of the net, Jamie, there. Good stuff, guys, that's brilliant.
And we all pulled together to do that, which is really good. So I'm glad we got the fishing nets up, and you know, hopefully we won't find any more, which means there won't be any, which is a good thing.
With the net successfully removed, the team are in high spirits.
Matt, bless him, made me laugh. You know, things are so much better with him now. He makes me giggle, he really does. He's just a great laugh, and forget everything I've said about him. You know, he's keeping me sane really at the moment.
I'm gonna lose.
The adventurers had completed their marathon canoe journey, and there was a huge surprise in store.
Home, home, sweet home. Look at this.
Wow, look at this! This is luxury, guys!
The leaders had built an entire camp for them.
And we made it to the camp at last. This is our final camp. We're going to be staying here for the rest of our time in the jungle.
It's really pathetic, maybe, but we were so excited to have a table and to have a bench we could sit on. It was really great.
I love this camp. It's so good. It's brilliant. Everything about this camp is amazingly cool.
I feel much more relaxed. I feel this is real luxury for me, and I feel really at home here.
I love the new camp. It really cheered me up. Really cheered me up. I'm missing fizzy drinks. Even if the iodine water was fizzy, I know it sounds stupid, it'd be so much better. And cold, because it's all warm.
This is the boys' keyhole.
I bet they'll still miss.
We just had the most amazing laughs. We've been making songs, we've been just chilling out. Right now I feel really warm and just really safe with everybody there, and I'm having great laughs, and I just feel really cool.
The adventurers even had a jungle shower.
That was absolutely gorgeous. I've been dying for a shower for ages. I'm in such a good mood. I'm having such a laugh. I've got my hot chocolate, my dinner cooking, a beautiful hammock to sleep in. It's a little bit muddy and I'm a little bit bitten at the moment. But apart from that, I'm having a great time and I'm so excited.
Tomorrow we are exactly halfway, which means I can put on my new shirt and my dry kit t-shirt, which is fantastic. At last I will smell decent from my neck to my waist.
Oh, it's raining.
Such a great place. And now we're all on a high mood. We're singing songs and making it raps. And it's hilarious. Singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling and happy ending. The only thing that's had a slight downer on my day was Jamie, when he stole my bashasite basically, and that really got me down. He stole my bashasite! He stole George's tree!
Today, I got blamed for pinching George's tree, but me and George had the same tree, so apparently it was my fault, and apparently I should have moved, but I didn't. So I don't think that done me any got me any points in the popularity test, but George had to move like over the other side of the path. Ooh.
I think quite a few people know now I've got quite annoyed with Jamie, which I think is going to get out soon, because most people, except for Matt, is annoyed with Jamie, to be honest.
You should be really happy, but now it's obvious, yeah, that there's some people in the camp who don't like me.
Really starting to get a bit annoyed with Jamie though. You know, he's a little bit self-centered sometimes.
Jamie, basically, right? He sits there and he tells me how to paddle. He goes, Simran, stop breaking the water. Simran, stop doing this. I'm steering the boat. Unless you want us to crash or go into a bank, will you stop going on at me.
It's a little frustrating when you're in the canoes and some people aren't pulling their weight, but I can understand that because if they haven't been doing much training, if they're not very fit, then that's alright.
I want a relaxed environment where I can canoe and enjoy everything that I'm doing because it's an amazing experience, and I'm not having him like just jabber down my ear. And I've been really good today. I haven't said a thing. I've just been accepting it and going, okay, fine.
He took George's tree, and he's always arguing with the people in his boat, and it's just kind of a load of people are getting stressed with him.
I don't know what it is. It's just I'm sure they're all lovely people, but I just don't really fit in here. You know, they're not really like my type of friends.
I'm just going to try and get on with him because I don't particularly want any rough up in the group or anything like that because we've got to spend still. We haven't even gone halfway through this thing yet.
Only 10 more days till I can go home anyway, so just have to wait and see what happens in the next 10 days if I start to get on more with them. There's only one person really that I actually talk to properly, and that's Matt.
With a huge building project to come, Jamie's increasing isolation was worrying, and in the extreme conditions, the bonds in the team would soon be stretched to breaking point.
I find it physically impossible to get on with him. I don't like him.
Ali says it. She doesn't like me, but just Frank, I don't like them too.
He needs to change in order for everybody else to change.
Oh, I had the most incredible evening of my life.
Hola.